But it's a penalty, and this should be game here, barring something very strange.
What a drive from the Saints, the tap, the kick.
And referee Lake whistles us to the end of the match, and your champions are the Saints of Thomas More. Takes home a national championship over the Bulldogs of Adrian. Great work there, Division II champions.
This is ours, bro. This is ours from the first time we stepped our first day when we beat Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati 55-0. This was our destiny. We earned this.
Unfortunately, you didn't come away with the win. How do you feel after your first year in the league?
Man, it feels awesome. The boys put in hard work, dedication, passionate about the game, you know. Just trying to build rugby to a higher level here in the States. I feel proud. I'm proud. Never had this before out here. St. Brigette's Field. It's awesome. It's awesome to see rugby growing all over. Fans, sorry we let you guys down, but that's just the best of our abilities. We fought to the last whistle. It was awesome. Thank you.
And a good evening to you, rugby fans. Welcome to First Republic Bank Field in Crestview Hills, Kentucky, where Thomas More Saints are getting ready to take on the Bulldogs of Adrian College. I'm John Broker, joined by the Sultan of the Scrum Down, Pat Clifton, for this Big Rivers Conference matchup between the Saints of Thomas More University and the visiting Adrian College Bulldog. Pat, it's a perfect night for rugby in the Bluegrass State.
That's absolutely right. The Big Rivers Conference, the first meeting ever for these two teams because this is the first year this league has ever been played. All varsity squads, all high-performance daily training environments, and these are the top two teams in the conference. The last time they met, it was for the Division II National Championship last December with Thomas More winning that one. I think Adrian wants a little payback tonight.
I was lucky enough to be on hand for that one. Beautiful evening, 60 degrees here. Going to be a wonderful night for rugby. Let's take a look at some lineups and players to watch for these two teams. For Adrian, coached by Benny Mattaleona, great squad coming here. Fantastic, the Bulldogs. He has done a wonderful job bringing in some great players here. Number of players to watch across the board for the Adrian Bulldogs, starting with none other than McGregor Adams. McGregor Adams, a grad student on his team, a try-scoring machine, came from a soccer. Whitmer is going to be taking this one under control, joined by Chris Newman and Scott West. You see in the white and black is going to be the Adrian Bulldogs and the Thomas More Saints, running from left to right on your screen. You see Vatuve there in your shot, ready to get us underway. Pat, both these teams want to start really fast. Vatuve gets us underway. And the Saints on the way right now. Saints first ball right there. A good ruck in the middle of the field. Good work from them. Big pickup by Hudson Montgomery. That's the man to watch right there. Turned over quickly, however, by the Bulldogs. Bulldogs looking for a big one here. Jack Stevens moves that one up to the big man, Michael Pakofe. Pakofe takes it down. Vatuve in the first receiver position. Gets a ball to McGregor Adams. McGregor Adams Takes it down inside the 22-meter line. Little pick and go there. Vatuve picks off the back himself. He's doing a lot of work early in this game. Off they go. The Adrian Bulldogs. Ball away into the middle of the field. Looking for some runners there. They got Max Miller coming. Max Miller, integral part of this team. Max Miller, the sophomore from Michigan, home state. Pick and go off the back. You see the try line waiting in the background there. Another big pick. Number 8, that is Takao. Now they move this one out. Vetuve, hands on the ball a lot in these first few minutes, just in these first 2. Nice drive there. Miller at the back. Miller puts a quick one up there to Brody Dries. Ball coming from Stevens. Stevens gets it out there to Robledo. Big hit comes in from the Saints. They have taken that attack away. Referee Whitmer, first whistle of the game. Come back for a scrum here, Pat.
The fans are getting all they could pay for tonight because this is a fantastic showing early on. Adrian, really impressive running. Fantastic ball carrying there by Vatuve, by Bakofe, and Thomas More. Nothing but patient defense, biding their time, making their tackles. And eventually they were able to apply some pressure and pop the ball free.
Kean Wild, scrum half, sophomore to put this one in. Johannesburg, South Africa born, now playing for the Saints. Big drive early on from the Bulldogs. Referee Whitmer wants to get it down again. Pat, he wants safety in these scrums.
He wants safety in these scrums, and I think Michael Bakofe just wants to go after it again. I mean, him against Hudson Montgomery. He's going against a Major League Rugby signed prop already, an undrafted free agent signed by the Jackals. Big opportunity tonight, and he ate up some yards in that first one.
We're coming in again here. Big push again from the Bulldogs. Kean Wild looking for this one. Kean Wild moves that one back. Robledo looking downfield. The Saints have moved that away. All alive again. Here comes McGregor Adams. McGregor Adams. Big hit comes in from the Saints, but the Bulldogs on the move here. A lot of action in these first couple of minutes. Big contest. First penalty of the game here against the Thomas More Saints.
Really good cover tackle there from Casares. He's got kind of the wild haircut with the stripe down the middle. He's another one of the Major League Rugby signed players here, drafted by the New England Free Jacks. It's interesting, Major League Rugby, they do their draft in August, but they don't start their season until the following year. So a lot of these outgoing seniors already know they're going to get to play pro rugby when they graduate, but they still get to finish out their eligibility here this fall. And Casares is one of those guys doing it.
Opportunity for them. Casares certainly going to the Free Jacks. We see Max Miller stepping up for this one. Max Miller from Saline, Michigan. Saline High School. Played Legacy Rugby Academy. Scrum half in high school, now playing hooker here for the Bulldogs. Ball up into the hands of Andy Arena. Very hard grafting player for this team. Adrian right across midfield. Adrian gets to the 40. Adrian looking for some runners. Little wrap around there from Stevens. They put a runner down the sideline. Good work. Benny Mataliona's team looking strong right now, assisted by Lerome White. Adam steps into that first receiver position. A ball up there to Andre Straub. Good work coming over the top there from the Saints defense, but unable to lodge that one. Nice break. Adrian still in the move, but player not releasing it, coming in from the side. We're going to have a penalty here against the Bulldogs this time.
Adrian in that first possession was able to get a lot of quick ball at the breakdown. Thomas More has decided to contest those rucks, get a little counter ruck going, and see if they can slow it down.
Saints have pushed this one downfield. Opportunity for them to attack. They've been primarily on defense so far. See McEwen Pothider to put this one in. The freshman from Port Elizabeth, South Africa, went to Gray High School. Movement comes in. They go to Casares in the middle of the line out. Ball down there to Wild. Wild gets it to Karamuti. They move it around the back. Get it wide across the field immediately. Looking for a good first run here. Look at the wheels on this winger out here for the Saints. Ball goes down. It comes back. Everybody's good. Goes into touch eventually. We're going to have a line out here for the Bulldogs. What ball work there from the Thomas More Saints, Pat?
That was our first look at Shepo Mosolani. John Fox, the head coach of Thomas More, nicknamed him Stepo. He says he is absolutely blinding, and we saw that on his first touch tonight. Spent some time in the Golden Lions Academy out of Johannesburg.
Looks fantastic there, the freshman. You can see the speed he put on the ball. Great addition to this team. Bulldogs line out. Miller to put this one in. Players are going to walk in the line. We'll see where they go. They're going to go up to the middle of the lineup, but it goes over the top into the hands of Fa'avale. Matagi Fa'avale gets the ball away, and the Adrian Bulldogs rumble their way up, but a knock-on creeps in. We're going to have a scrum here for the Thomas More Saints.
Best scoring platform so far tonight for Thomas More. I'm still watching that Bakofe and Montgomery matchup. It's been a pretty exciting one so far. I think Bakofe getting the better of Montgomery a little bit. I saw Montgomery's rear kind of pop up at that first engagement. That's a good sign that the other guys got under him.
Going to bring this down again. Referee Whitmer wants a good, safe scrum here. As we pointed out before, near their own zone are the Adrian Bulldogs. A ball here for the Saints. Saints opportunity across the field. They have Casares in the back. Backline always dangerous for the Saints. Away they go. Wild gets that ball out in the middle of the field, and that's that runner right there. Big pickup. They're in the try zone. Referee's on the spot. They're going to be able to get this one down. Referee is looking and looks as though it will be called held up by referee Whitmer. Should be a goal line dropout for the Bulldogs.
I love seeing teams have to handle this goal line dropout. Still a relatively new rule. Puts a lot of pressure on the kicking team.
McGregor Adams is going to put this one down. Former soccer player. Gets that one past midfield. Drop goal attempt coming from Karamuti. It does not have the distance. It's not going to go out the back. Touchdown should be a 22 drop for the Bulldogs.
A little more breathing room. McGregor's going to have a little bit more time to pick where he wants to go and feel a little more comfortable. Big scrum there by Thomas More to almost set up the score before the turnover. Their pack has a bit of an ascendancy both in weight and height tonight.
McGregor Adams with the 22. Launches that one downfield. He is very prodigious with that boot. Kick coming back. Nice high ball up from the Saints. Ball well handled. But a bobble pops in there. Have to kick it away. Ball into the hands of the Saints in the middle of the field. They're going to have to work to get their structure back open. Kean Wild looks to the side, goes to the right. Kean Wild gets it to one of his forward runners. All they can do is take that one in. Referee's going to come back, however. We have a knock-on, looks like against the Bulldogs. So scrum for the Saints.
Casares is really lethal at the back of these scrums, picking and going. 6'4", 240 pounds. Biggest load on the field on either side from the back row perspective. Michael Bakofe has got him by a few pounds, but in terms of height and weight, he's the biggest unit that's going to get out and run in the open space.
Certainly is. Casares, well-regarded business major. from St. Philip's Apostle College in Argentina. And here he comes, his first major run of the ball. That ball slides out the back to no one in particular, but well handled. That's Luca Matassini, the fullback, taking that in, but another player comes in on the angle for the Saints. Going to be another penalty for the Bulldogs, able to move this one downfield.
That was Santiago Perez Zoroquin, another Buenos Aires product for John Fox coming out of Club Champignon. He was very high on him, talking to him earlier this week. A number of freshmen that's making a big impact for the Saints early on this season, and unfortunately, this impact was negative with the penalty.
Inside the zone of the Saints right now are the Bulldogs. Bulldogs opportunity here. The big man, Pakofe, comes to the front. They go up to the middle lineout. Lineout's been a bit messy either way so far. Don't know if that ball was knocked by the Saints. Referee Whitmer is going to say, let's play. Stevens moves that one. Taking it just a little bit flat-footed on the outside. They get the ball there to McGregor Adams. He's wearing the number 14 jersey tonight. And a nice little kick through there. Saints have to regather, and that's that man right there. Mussolani hauled into touch eventually. It's going to be another line out for the Bulldogs.
Siona Mamata welcomed him to the Big Rivers de facto championship match by shoving him out of bounds there. Sione was a very standout player, of course, for the Bulldogs last year. Their championship runner-up run.
Bulldogs going to go to the maul this time, use some of their power. Effective so far. They've gained 7 or 8 meters. They're still on the move. Don't know if there is going to be a penalty. Referee has his arm out. Penalty advantage here for the Bulldogs. You see the try zone just down the way there. They have an opportunity to move the ball out. That's Quinn Murray. We're going to come back for the penalty. Referee says not enough of an advantage there. They're going to go quick. Off they go. Ball into the hands of Andy Arena. A hard-working lock. Good pressure coming on. Favale has a hold of it. He's a little bit isolated. He's going to need some people to join the fun. Karamuti over the top there. Looks like he's off his feet. Referee is going to wait for this ball to come out, and the Bulldogs on the attack again. Andy Arena drives his way to the 5-meter line. Montgomery on the ground has to slide his way out. Gets another penalty advantage for not rolling away quick enough. And here are the big boys. It looks like Pakofe, Michael Pakofe is looking at the line. Pakofe gets a couple of meters. Big pick off the back. Ball went over the try line. Did it go down? That was to Cow at number 8. But he may have knocked that one on. Going to come back for another penalty here. Andy Arena has a hold of it. They're looking at the post, and they are indeed going to go to the posts. Andy Arena from Layton, Utah.
The maul that set this up was really impressive by Adrian. Usually when you think of driving mauls from lineouts, you think about power, but it was about speed. They did it really fast, just like their pick and goes, and that one there from Takao. Speed and power, you got to put them together. Adrian, the smaller pack, but they're moving faster. They're moving quicker, and that's giving them the front foot against Thomas.
McGregor Adams, the Royal Oak, Michigan native, slots that one. First points of the game to the Bulldogs.
Really impressed with Adrian here. Their speed and their efficiency as a pack in the breakdown, in the set piece, I think so far has given them a little bit of ascendancy. I think their scrum is a little bit better. Their line out, even though they're giving up, their tallest guy is 6'2" across the board in their line out, whereas Thomas More has 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". That last line out wasn't, the first line out wasn't clean. The second one was. It took care of the ball and put it in an impressive maul.
Karamuti lifts that one high. Tap back by the Saints. Saints in possession on their own kickoff. Ball taken to the ground by Pot Heater. Wild moves it out. Nice footwork there from Montgomery. Hudson Montgomery takes 2 or 3 to bring him down this time. Ball goes out the back, dropped again. Nice step there. That is Tavion Veal. Veal gets the ball down to the ground. Casares picks it up. 2 players from the Bulldogs get him in the air, but put him out gently. So we're going to keep playing here. Nothing illegal there. As the ball comes out, yet another forward pod. You hear the Saints crowd getting behind their team here at Thomas More University. Beautiful Crestview Hills, Kentucky. Forwards making a little more room. Montgomery comes in and cleans that one up. Wild moves it out. Casares well marked by this Adrian Bulldogs defense. Wild again looking the other way. Nice little move. Gets it into some space there. Excellent for O'Gorman. Raphael O'Gorman is held up. He's going towards the try line. Referee may call this a maul, which creates some more issues, but taken away by one of the Saints players. Saints on the move. Wild moves it out to the left. Casares gets a little handoff there. Casares gets it to one of his players. The referee takes a look and has not made a decision as of yet. I believe it's going to be a penalty against the Saints for an additional movement, Pat.
That was McEwen Potgieter, the freshman hooker out of Grey College, famous rugby school, Grey College in Port Elizabeth, South Africa. I thought he was over. Not entirely sure what the penalty was. Fortunate turn of events there for Adrian.
Looked like the penalty was taken. 1 too many attempts to get to the try line there. I thought he was okay, but referee's in a much better position than we are. And referee Whitmer takes a look at it.
Just Casares sneaking off a really cheeky offload. Hey, that's one post. His belly landed. He bounced a little bit, got a roll on a post. I think that might be a missed call there by the referee. A little bit unfortunate for the Saints. But McEwen Potgieter, I have a feeling he's going to take his next opportunity. No problems.
Another 5-man line out here from the Bulldogs. They're going to go to the back or to the front. They've got me fooled as well. Andy Arena takes that one down. Moved into a waiting pod of forwards. Well taken. Runners out wide. We'll see where they go with this one. Nice skip pass that bounces off the ground. Gets into the hands of Jared Welch. His first major entry into this game. Ball to Stevens. Stevens moves it away there. Robledo at fly half takes that one. Casares trying to strip it away. Stevens again gets the ball into the hands of Robledo. He finds some runners, but Kofe now are working towards that right-hand touchline. All in the hands of Sione Mamata. Mamata has players on top of them, and it's ripped away by the Saints. All action so far, but something illegal in there, not releasing from the Saints. Adrian, another opportunity with a penalty, Pat.
Absolutely. Some impressive defense there. See, Tishepo Mosolani tackle Michael Pakofe in a run-it straight challenge in open field was an impressive move for the freshman winger. But a phase later, the penalty in the breakdown, and Adrian is back on the front foot. Thomas More having some discipline issues early. You got to wonder how many of these penalties are going to mount before the pressure starts to crack them a little bit defensively.
Referee Whitmer certainly on the spot for those, keeping an eye on it. Absolutely, you're right. Saints going to have to take a look at this. The 5-man line out comes again. This time they go straight up on the arena. On the arena gets it down, they move it out. Ball gets caught a little flat of foot there. Well taken. Ball to Stevens. Stevens on the arena. Doing a lot of hard work and hard yards all over the field. A player coming off his feet there for the Bulldogs. Penalty this time for Thomas More.
That's all they need. Karamoudi has a great boot. Expect them to pick up quite a bit of yardage on this kick. We haven't really seen Thomas More with an attacking line out yet. Like to see what they have in store from a line set perspective.
Karamoudi has been on the Dean's List every year at Thomas More from La Merced Rugby Club in Argentina. Playing his rugby now in Crestview Hills. Full line out coming from the Saints.
Considering the full line out, the size of this line out, gotta wonder if the Saints have a maul in mind.
Ball up to Casares. They do indeed go in a maul, following Pat the prognosticator's advice. Ball goes to the ground. Kean Wild has his hands on it, slowed down just a bit by the Bulldogs. Good rush defense, and a big pickoff there from the Bulldogs into Bautista Robledo's hands. He puts one up, blocked by one of the Thomas More players. Another ill-fated offload goes into the hands of the Saints this time. And just a little too much fancy play there. Saints opportunity, but a knock-on from the Saints will come back for a scrum for the Bulldogs.
Cost the error early on. Something you don't want to have happen, obviously, especially with this pack. Adrian has been really salty in the scrum so far. I haven't seen Takao carry this ball off the back yet, but I got a feeling he's got something special up his sleeve when he does get a little bit of green space to work with.
Takao from St. George's, Utah, also spent some time in Tonga. Father was USA Eagle Tomasi Takao, a phenomenal player. Ball
Played
to
for the
come in
famed
here
Gentlemen of
from
Aspen in high school.
Aspen certainly produced some great players over the year. Fortunately, his father has passed. Condolences to the Takao family. Ball coming in here from Stevens. At Takao's feet. Takao hangs on to it, gets knocked on, and there's going to be a scrum now for the Saints under a bit of pressure.
Kean Wild was on top of him in that scrum, absolutely on top of him, maybe bordering on offside, but good pressure early on. A lot of gamesmanship by these two talented young scrum halves. What a crowd.
You can hear this crowd noise. They are excited here. Ball come in from Wilds. Casares has it at his feet. Going to come off the back to the left. Casares, he's got some room to run. He has somebody to hand the ball off to, and there are the wheels. Big step through that first tackle. That's Mosalane. Gets it back. Kean Wild on the spot to take that one. Ahead of steam here for this Saints team. Bulldogs going to have to regather. Mosalane gets that one a bit messy. Ball squirts out there back to the Bulldogs, but illegally so. Going to come back for a penalty against the Bulldogs.
Takao a little over-aggressive in that ruck. He wanted the ball back. Got caught scraping the carpet to find it.
Saints going to move the chains. Push it down just about 10 meters out from the Adrian line. 3-0, not much in it here. A great matchup here in this Big Rivers Conference. National Collegiate Rugby bringing you this Friday night contest. Pot heater, looking for the right player. Goes there to Casares. Was not straight. Uncontested, Pat. They may change that rule one of these days.
You still got to make the throw nonetheless. I think the pressure might have got to Potgieter. I can't hear the song that they're singing in the stands, but it sounds like there's some international flavor. The Thomas More head coach John Fox said that they were expecting quite a raucous show up tonight. He says this rugby team is really bonded with some of the other programs on campus. They're really showing up for each other, these athletic teams, and it sounds like maybe some soccer guys out there tonight.
Certainly could be. Fairly small student body, 1,800 undergrads, 150 grads. So a tight-knit community here at Thomas More. All out from the line, unafraid to run is Vatuve. Stevens trying to get that out for a box kick, but other ideas are coming from the Saints. as the Saints go in and force a knock-on. Scrum coming. Great work on that counter ruck.
You know, it's something you don't see enough of in American college rugby. You tend to either see way too much counter-rucking in a low standard game or not enough of it in a high standard game. It's really when to counter-ruck is a bit of an art and it's a bit of a science, and Thomas More got it right on that time. When you do it and you do it well, it can be a heck of a weapon.
Wild to put this in. Casares will probably take this quickly. He has been trying to get on the move. Waits, gets the ball to Wild. Wild has some space. Wild looking for somebody to offload to. Quickly, Perez Zorakin comes in and it cleans that one up over Wild. Going to have another pick and go here. They're going to get to about the 5-meter line. The Saints, 25 minutes into this first half. All action so far. Lots of ball and play time has been exciting. They've got that man on the width. He can't quite find it. He'll be able to recycle the ball here for the Saints. Saints looking for runners. Wild looking for the big fella, Hudson Montgomery. Hudson Montgomery drives towards the line. Hudson Montgomery's looking at the line, but can't quite find it. Wild going to come back, looking for just a little pop here, and that ball slips forward. See what the referee's call is here, but that's not going to be the try. It'll be a scrum instead for the Adrian Bulldogs.
Hudson Montgomery looking like a one-man maul on that leg drive, getting close to the goal line, but not quite got enough. Big turnover for the Adrian Bulldogs. If they can manage to clear their lines, turning the ball over here will be a huge win for them. Here you see Wild pass it over and knocked on just at the try line.
Good work there by the Bulldogs just to get enough in the eye line there to force that turnover. It's going to be a scrum here as Stevens has a ball to the line. Steady at Takau's feet. In their own try zone. They're going to have a run nonetheless. That's Vatuve. Referee has a penalty against the Saints at that contact. We're going to bring that back.
That's a little cheeky play from the scrum half Wild. It's in every number 9's playbook. Quick tap the penalty that you know is not yours, just to slow the ball down a bit.
Line out just inside their 40-meter line for the Bulldogs. See if they go to their 5-man setup they've been using so far this game.
The Bulldogs are doing a really good job
at the front
of showing that speed on the ground wins these lineouts.
Ball down to Stevens. Stevens moves it. Nice, powerful run from the Bulldogs. Player leaving his feet. Going to come back and be a penalty for the Saints. Karamuti, ball in hand, will move this downfield.
The last 2 penalties that have landed Thomas More deep in the red zone have been a little bit of over-aggression from the Adrian Bulldogs in the breakdown.
See Pakofe there just telling his team to calm down there. We're going to come back for this line out to the Saints. Good position for them. Hot heater gets it up. Can only be tapped away by Joshua Foy. They're getting the ball a bit on the back foot. Robledo will look to make that tackle for Adrian, but the ball comes, it goes back, it goes forward. Referee is going to call that knock on against the Saints. Going to be a scrum here for the Bulldogs, just about 20 meters out from their own line.
Pakofe sneaking in maybe an extra counter ruck after the whistle. Having a little chat with his opponent over there from the Saints. You tell these two teams a lot of respect between them.
Certainly is. Big rivalry. The sophomore from Kahuku, Hawaii, Michael Pakofe, 6 foot, 310 pounds. Adds a lot on that side, taking on Hudson Montgomery. Good scrum from the Bulldogs. They move that one out to Robledo. Robledo's going to hang on to it. Had players coming on, but couldn't quite find that connection. So going to have to restart again here from Stevens. Stevens puts it back. Nice high kick for players to deal with back there and have done just inside the Bulldogs half is Karamuti. Karamuti, good footwork to keep himself alive. Fa'avale, main part of that tackle. All to the ground eventually. Referee is going to whistle this up. We had a knock-on in the contact from the Saints 10 minutes to go in this first half. 3-0. It's going to be a Bulldogs scrum down just inside their own half.
Still part of that heavyweight fight where both of these guys are kind of tying each other up. They're kind of, more blocking the head and then going for the punches at the end of the round. As this first half clock ticks down, I wonder if you start seeing some of these teams loosen up a little bit, trying a few things on offense, getting a little bit over aggressive and shooting on defense, and see this game open up in the last final 10 minutes of the half.
Stevens played Detroit Catholic Central rugby in high school. Players losing their bind there. It's going to be a penalty here for the Bulldogs. Good result for them.
Last time at the scrum, Wild was able to put a lot of pressure on. They said he was maybe borderline offside. This time the referee said he was across the line and pinged him. So we'll see if Wild slows down a bit, takes some heat off in the back of those scrums defensively.
Going to be a Bulldogs line out here inside the 40-meter line of the Saints. Saints on defense.
Big-time mauling territory. We saw the Bulldogs get quite a bit of yardage with a really speedy, powerful maul early on.
The 5-man line out again for the Bulldogs. Have a couple of options in there. They're going to go up to Andiriana, and it gets knocked away. Hudson Montgomery comes down with it. Montgomery being driven backwards, however, eventually it gets to the ground. Not without nearly turning the ball over, but a penalty against the Bulldogs this time. The Saints' opportunity to push this downfield, gain some territory.
You don't see that every day in the line-out. Adrian was able to secure it, get two hands on it in the air, but Casares was still looking down at them, looking down at his opposite lifter, just swatted it out of his hand like candy out of a baby's hand he wasn't supposed to have or something. A great turnover there by Casares and by Thomas More, just not allowing Adrian to have some really keen, high opportunity attacking platform.
Good attacking opportunity here for the Saints. 7 minutes on the game clock in this first half. See Montgomery at the front. They just be waiting for a ball here. And they have one. Pot heater ready to go. They're going to go to the tail of the line out this time. That one's okay. According to the referee, they've got a couple of options in runners. They're going to go the direct route, just set it up and come around that corner. Looking to a pass around the back. They're trying to get the ball to the danger man, and they have done. He's been well covered every time. Tuve may have gotten the worst of that one. Slow to get up there in the back of your screen. We'll hope he's okay. That one gets knocked just a bit forward. Referee's going to whistle it up. Couple of knock-ons there. We're going to have a scrum. A lead to the Saints.
It's like Batuve just took one of Mosolani's knees at full pace, going really low in the tackle, maybe got his head caught just a little bit inside. Caught one of Mosolani's hard parts, and he's having trouble getting off the ground.
Referee
one of the
Whitmer
guys
moving the scrum out.
You do not want to see Botello Vatuve go out of a game. That'd be like the Detroit Lions losing Barry Sanders. You might want to just turn it off if you're a Lions fan at that point. He is a dynamite athlete. We've only seen him carry the ball about the first opening couple of phases. He hasn't gotten the ball much since then. Let's hope he can recover and get back to that attacking form.
Scrum to the Bulldogs. Stevens. Clean ball from Takau's feet. Little runner coming in. That one not well handled. Just hoofed into the air eventually by a backline player. Casares gets it. Calm as you like. Moves the ball on. A nice run from Perez Zorikin. Haven't seen tons of him. He's been doing the hard work this game. Get the ball down. Karamuti takes it into contact. Wild. One more time. Wild again. Finds Montgomery. Montgomery puts in a speculative pass there. These teams just trying to go a little too fancy, Pat. Wild looks out to his right-hand side. Reset with a forward pod. Ball's one. Karamuti puts a nice little line in there. Great run. That is Perez Zorikin again. Santiago Perez Zorikin really working his way into this game. Is the Buenos Aires native. Working towards the touchline. Can't make it happen. Hudson Montgomery picks it up, puts a little dummy in there. Has to flip the ball back in field. One of the players from the Bulldogs gets their boot on that, but referee Whitmer is going to bring us back for a penalty.
Love the ball skills from the big guy, Hudson Montgomery, with the little dummy, fake pass to the outside, and then a good bump forward. Love to see that from him.
He is a very smart player. Lots of fun to watch, lots of fun to call. As a player, he is certainly well-rounded, is Hudson Montgomery.
Reading, Ohio, not too far away. Calling this Thomas More guys, you get people from all corners of the earth, but you also got guys like Hudson Montgomery from nearby in Ohio. You got guys like Tavon Veal from Cincinnati, Ohio, and Withrow High School just across the river.
Saints are going up for the kick here. Try to tie this one up before half. Raphael O'Gorman to take this one. Freshman, business administration major. Tucumán Rugby Club in Argentina. Gorman goes through his routine. Sends that one into the night, and it is good. We are tied up here. 2.5 minutes on the game clock in the first half. Referee has the official time.
If you make the kick, you can have as much warm-up time as you need, and Raphael O'Gorman earned it there. John, both of these teams are 3-0 in the Big Rivers Conference. The first ever all-varsity, all-daily training environment, all-high-performance environment conference in men's college rugby. They're both 3-0. We're halfway through the season. This is the de facto conference championship game. If you lose, you could probably still come back, but it's going to be quite the uphill battle.
Vatuve is okay. He gets us going again. Here comes the Saints. Saints able to tie it up there and now working their way forward. Wild gets a hold of that ball, looking for a little run. They pop it back inside to Casares. He's always looking for an opportunity to run. Ball now off to Hudson Montgomery. A lot of their inspirational players starting to come to the fore. Wild moves it back again. Ball is in behind. A little kick ahead. Doesn't work. Goes into the hands of the tip back. Their wing. They're going to maintain possession. Here is big pick and go off the back. There's Zorikin again. Here's Casares. Casares gets his hands free. Gets the ball to Potheater. Potheater moves it along. Continue to run. Another bobbled ball comes back the Bulldogs' way. That one's chipped ahead, but it's going to come back for that knock-on. We should have a Bulldog scrum here.
John, you watched this national championship game last year. These two teams teeing off. Any surprise that it's 3-3 after almost 40 minutes here?
I'm not remotely surprised at all, Pat. It was an electric outing that time. They know each other well. It's developing into a very good rivalry. There is going to be a lot more to come in the second half as our referees are going to confer here on the sidelines. Referee Whitmer going to head across the field and talk to his other assistant referee.
John, I tell you, this Big Rivers Conference, there are probably more Major League Rugby general managers watching this game than we've had in any Friday Night Rugby game so far. Third one in, fair play, but probably as many Major League Rugby executives watching this game as they would watch any college rugby game across the country. This is Thomas More, this is Adrian. These are teams that didn't exist 15 years ago. The reality is the resources they're putting into the game is bringing up, and you're seeing the cream rise in high school rugby. You're seeing a carrot that is giving people something to chase and scholarships and resources, and it has become the real pathway to get to Major League Rugby, to get to the national teams. And this conference is a huge watershed achievement in the growth of college rugby and the standard of college rugby and what it could mean for professional rugby, what it could mean for the Eagles on the field going forward, and really the growth of high school rugby. This has been kind of the missing link. We've had varsity high school rugby, we've had professional rugby now for a number of years, and getting these varsity teams to play in competitions like this has been the missing link.
Absolutely, Pat. It's always wonderful to see the improvement in the game. Players flocking to these universities, putting those resources into it. We're going to have a foul play call here from the assistant referee. It looks like the cow is the one who is guilty, and we have a red card, player gone for the game for striking one of the opponents. Tough loss there for the Bulldogs. They'll be at 14 for the rest of the game, and it will be a penalty for the Thomas More Saints. Big loss, Pat.
Massive loss. Obviously, they're going to go down a man, and that's a huge aspect. DeCow was making an impact in contact, especially in that game, so he's a huge loss as a player. Saw him get tied up in the breakdown with one of his opposites in St. Thomas More. I couldn't tell if he counter-rucked late and the Saint didn't like it, or if he was being held in by a Saint and he didn't like it. But the afters that got him red carded came directly after that skirmish.
Referee just having a chat with both captains here. Wants them to keep it clean for the rest of the game, of course. We'll come back for the penalty, and Karamuti steps up.
Interesting call now for Adrian. Will head coach Benny Mattialona decide to bring in a forward and even out the scrum and the line out and wait up front a little bit, sub out one of his backs for a forward, or will he go a man down up front?
I assume Vatuve could play number 8. I've seen him do everything else. Maybe they'll bring him in, Pat. We'll see what they decide to do here. We're going to have a line out for the Saints. Pot heater. Opportunity late in this half. A man up. They want to take advantage of this as quickly as they can and set the tone. They go to the front there into the hands of Joshua Foy. Little wraparound for Pot heater. Pot heater gets inside 10 meters. Wild moves that ball out. Little pickup. Ball up into the hands of Lorenzo Lely. Lely working his way towards the line. Lely, good, powerful leg drive there. Can't quite get there. Ball's going to go back. There's Montgomery. Montgomery dives over. Montgomery looked like he had it. We'll see what the referee comes up with. And indeed, he calls it Hudson Montgomery. Touches down for 5 points for the hometown Thomas More Saints.
That's right, the graduate student, the super senior, the NCR All-American. Who else to score the first try of the match other than Hudson Montgomery from nearby Reading, Ohio, after a great lane drive from the 6-foot even lock here right before Hudson Montgomery gets his pick. Just sneaks it under the Adrian defense.
Yeah, sitting right there for him, certainly. O'Gorman will have the opportunity to extend the lead here. Big moment for the Thomas More Saints late in this first half, taking advantage of that red card immediately.
Lorenzo Lely had the big leg drive right before Montgomery punched that in. You don't often see a lock at this high level of a college match at just 6 feet tall. Played for the Argentina under-16s. You can see just why. He plays much bigger than his size.
O'Gorman lines it up. O'Gorman slots it. They're at 12-3 as the first half rolls on. Referee's time we are in now.
He had to have a few chats, pull the captains in a couple of times. Wouldn't be surprised if we have just a touch of extra time here.
And that seems to be halftime as we're at 12-3. The Thomas More Saints lead the Adrian Bulldog. It's National Collegiate Rugby, Friday Night Rugby. We're going to step away for halftime. We'll be back with an enthralling second half after this.
Play with our hearts. We don't play with sticks, bats, or gloves. We don't wear shoulder pads or helmets. We keep playing when it hurts. And we leave everything on the field. What we wear must be built for our game.
In our game, we play with our hearts. We don't play with sticks, bats, or gloves. We don't wear shoulder pads or helmets. We keep playing when it hurts. and we leave everything on the field. What we wear must be built for our game.
Since 1979, we've been searching for perfection. We've been thinking, sketching, and designing. We've been building, assembling, and strengthening. We've been cutting, shaping, and painting. We've created strength and beauty time and again. Our machines are made for one thing: the perfect hit. We are the crouch. We are the bind. We are the set. We are the squeeze. We are the hit. We are Rhino, home of the scrum.
Play with our hearts. We don't play with sticks, bats, or gloves. We don't wear shoulder pads or helmets. We keep playing when it hurts. And we leave everything on the field. What we wear must be built for our game.
To Thomas More University, Crestview Hills, Kentucky. I am John Broker with Pat Clifton. It's going to be an exciting second half here where the Thomas More Saints have just taken the lead. Pat, what a first half we had.
Absolutely, it was a great first half. Adrian coming out on the front foot early on, hard hitting, very fast moving on the attack. Thomas More a little bit against the whistle, on the wrong side of the whistle, and then things flipped. Adrian started having some indiscipline. Adrian picked up a red card, and very shortly thereafter, the Saints picked up a try, and that's been the difference so far. That red card and the try in the last minute of the first half. Otherwise, perfectly even matched all the way through the first 39.
It'll be the Saints running from right to left on your screen in this second half. And from left to right of the Adrian Bulldogs, they're going to be wearing the white, gold, and a bit of black there. The blue and white here of the Saints. Saints in the lead 10-3. 40 minutes to go. Referee Whitmer set to get us going again. We are underway in the second half here. This big Rivers contest coming. Messy ball there. Comes down eventually. Player into touch. We have a knock on. We're going to come back for a scrum for the Bulldogs.
That was Vituve getting tackled into touch after that kind of nasty and scary hit he took midway through the first half. I'm just glad he's still out there taking hits.
Missing a player here in the scrum with a red carded Takao in the sidelines for the rest of the game. We're going to have a ball coming in here from Stevens. I have to do some good work here with just 7 men in this scrum. Big push coming on from the Saints, as you'd expect. Ball being dug out there. Referee says that one's just come around. We're going to set it down again here for the Bulldogs.
That Adrian pack was missing about 100 pounds going against Thomas More, outweighed by 100 pounds. That was with all of Takao's 210 on that scrum. Now it's been taken off, and we saw that left side march forward pretty easily without a loose side flanker.
Ball coming in here for the Bulldogs. See if they can get this one away cleanly. Manahave has stepped into the number 8 position, and they move that ball across. Robledo gets it out to Vatuve. Vatuve is ready to run as ever. Vatuve moves that ball up to Quinn Murray. Quinn Murray gets it over to the wing. Off we come back across the field. Players be lined up. Little pass inside. Despite being a player down, the Bulldogs still ready to run. Stevens moves the ball to Robledo. Robledo puts the ball out to Bakofe. A little chip around over the top. Nearly fielded by Kean Wild. Looked like a knock on there. Referee has flag up, but a sharp whistle there from the referee. We'll see what we come back to. It's going to be a penalty against Thomas More. Right at midfield will be an Adrian Bulldogs opportunity to move this one down.
They should still do pretty well in the line out, I think, without Takao. I'd like to see if they have a line set up for Vituve, if they've got any sharp lines for him. You give him 20 meters between him and the defense to find some space. I like his chances to get a nice clean break. Usually teams' best scoring opportunities are off of these line sets, these line outs and their set plays.
That one doesn't get the distance they would have liked, but it's going to be a line out for the Bulldogs nonetheless. See Fa'avale, number 1 at the back. From Colville, Utah. Played with the Utah Warriors Academy U18. Now playing for the Adrian Bulldogs. Ball up to the middle, successful line out there, and off they come. A couple of dummy runners up the back. They get the ball to Vatuve. Vatuve turns that one over. Saints have the ball held up right now. If the Bulldogs can continue to hold them up, they would win the ball. However, Saints have been able to get one on the ground, and Kean Wild looking for a runner. We're going to come back for a little knock on there. Be a scrum for the Bulldogs, and they are pretty excited. Jared Welch took that one in.
A couple impressive plays early in this first half. We didn't call Welt's name the entire first 40, but he had a really nice bump and a carry a couple of minutes ago, and then getting some dirty work done there in the breakdown.
Scrum coming. Stevens once again to put this one in at the 40-meter line of the Saints. Ball to back, going to be clean. Stevens moves it out. Robledo looking for runners, brings an offside wing in there. McGregor Adams gets tripped up. They're going to continue to work this side. Little show and go there from Quinn Murray. Player from the Saints coming over, looking to pick that one up. Can't quite handle it. They get it on to one of the big fellas there. That's Andy Arena. Does so much work for this team. a political science major, business administration major, excuse me, from Utah. Turned over by the Saints. Hudson Montgomery steps into the distributor position. Looking to make a little run here are the Saints. Saints down that right-hand line. Have players wound across the field. Gets the ball to Casares. Casares puts a little flip in there. Winds up in the hands of Fa'avale. Fa'avale gets it to his front row partner, Pakofe. He puts in a nice pass to Manahave. Manahave steps. Manahave is across the 40-meter line. Manahave one to beat. Manahave looking for a teammate and finds it to McGregor Adams. McGregor Adams, he can find the try line, no problem. McGregor Adams touches it down. We'll see if the referee whistles this.
I think that last pass is just forward. Great counterattack there, though, by Adrian. I thought Casares was kind of taken over in the middle of the field with a big tackle and turnover. And the Bulldogs coming the other way, and there's Pakofe. Not only with the big handoff, but then the skills. I thought this guy might have taken it all the way. Good counter tackle there by the 15. And just enough defense there in the end to force the skills under pressure and just forward on that pass. Just the inches are the difference there between the try and the turnover.
Manahave, the number 7 from Highland High School, a much vaunted program in Utah. Another player now in Michigan, the city of Maples. Long kick from Thomas More Saints. That one may have been tipped, so it's going to be a Saints line out here just inside their own 20.
It's not a bad turn of events there for the Adrian Bulldogs. Their 7-man scrum was actually getting the better of Thomas More in that last pack down. They really gained no yardage. This is a great result for the Adrian Bulldogs now with an attacking line out.
A little bit messy, but Fa'avale has a hold of it. Fa'avale, loose head prop at 5'9", 190. Ball gets moved out there from Max Miller. Miller gets it in the hand of a waiting teammate. Now Stevens able to step back in. Stevens looking to move it across field, get it into the hands of Vatuve. Vatuve tries to get that one away. It seemed like it was knocked back by a Thomas More player, but it's going to come back as a knock-on, be a scrum here for the Saints.
Vatuve trying to get the attention of the assistant referee. I'm not sure if he's trying to argue that this wasn't a forward pass, but it did indeed sneak. All these football lines make it a little tough to get away with that forward pass there.
I think he was trying to say that Mosolane had knocked it backwards, so the ball should have stayed alive, but it was pretty clearly a forward pass there from Vatuve. Kean Wild to put one in again here for the Saints. 7 minutes gone in the second half. Ball back. Trying to get some more yardage off of this one. It's not going to find touch, however. Adrian on the run. Welt moves it into the center of the field. McGregor Adams has to step back. Around Tavion Veal, gets a ball back there into the hands of Murray. That one seemed to go directly out. So it should be a line out here for the Saints back where it was kicked.
Adrian coming out of the shed, down a man, down 7 points. They spent a lot of time in the attacking end. 2 unforced handling errors with the forward pass and a knock-on prevent tries. And then they punt the ball straight into touch there and cost themselves about 40 yards. Some costly errors from the Bulldogs. I know Coach Matty Alona is going to want to clean that one up on film next week.
Saints taking their time here. Pot heater. Want to be sure about it. We're just holding up for a minute here as they decide what to do.
You usually see a referee tell a team to break a huddle, not reassemble in one, but that time the referee giving the Saints everything they needed.
It was interesting. They're looking for Casares in the middle. Not going too high on these. The ball goes back into the hands of Pot Heater, where they're able to get it away. Perez Zorakin takes that one in. Wild to Karamuti. Karamuti looking downfield. Well fielded by Welt. Murray launches it downfield inside their own 22. Little step, little go there from Matasini. Matasini nearly breaks a couple of tackles. Welt eventually gets him to ground. Off come the Saints. Little step there from none other than Hudson Montgomery. Going to get the ball cleanly to the ground. Away come the Saints. Player lifted there, but it was okay. It was just part of his momentum. Referee's going to play on. Nothing in it. Little good run coming in. Offload. This one finds its target in Zubiri, but it finds a forward pass as well. Pat, some of these offloads just a little ill-advised.
Yeah, a little ill-advised. Both of these teams are pushing it tonight. They want to play high-level rugby. They know it's Friday Night Rugby. They know they got John Broker on the call. They want to impress them. Maybe pressing their skills a step further than they're there. But it's just inches, right? I mean, some of these passes are just inches away from being brilliant, inches away from being beautiful. So I love seeing them stretch their game, stretch their skill set, reach for the moon, and if you miss, you'll land among the stars or something like that.
Pat, I've been calling rugby since the Stone Age. Color me impressed. Very good rugby on display tonight from these teams. As we wait for a player just to get attended to by the medical staff here at Thomas More. Player up. Seems to be okay. Crowd certainly happy about it.
Adrian's ball here. That 7-man scrum has looked pretty solid. The first couple were a little shaky. They seem to have adjusted quite well. If they could actually pull this off, win their own ball pretty cleanly in these 7-man scrums, it would be a big win for them this entire second half and give them a chance to really claw back and stay in this game.
Ball in from the Bulldogs. Strong with Manahave at the back there. Still steadying the scrum with just 7 players. Caught behind is McGregor Adams. Has to make a little room. Casares coming in to try to poach that one away. The future free jack has done. But a referee is going to penalize the Saints for coming in on the angle.
I think his fellow Argentinian and fellow MLR draft pick, Karamuti, was just offsides there on that ruck. Never got back onside or retreated after the tackle. He got in the way of the Adrian rucker that would have come in and tried to clear out Casares. So good call there. You see Karamuti playing around at the ruck. He never reestablishes and gets back onside. That was after the whistle. Maybe a beat late on that one.
Miller. Looking for his target. 5-man line out. They go up again to Andy Arena. Andy Arena gets it down and move that ball out. Get the ball to the danger man, Vatube. He steps one. Had Welt right next to him, but decides to go a little bit wider. McGregor Adams slides around a couple. He's got Tavion Veal slowing him down a little bit. Takes a couple more to tackle him. Karamuti eventually gets him to ground. We have a penalty advantage against the Thomas More Saints. All coming wide again. Little Pakofe pass out the back to Vatube. Vatube finds a seam. Vatube gets through one. Vatube looking for somebody to offload to. He is electric. Patella Vatube. Away they come one more time. Ball up into the hands of Andy Arena. Andy Arena doing that hard work. Valle takes it to ground. Ball back across. Little pop-up pass there from Robledo. Stevens finds a runner. Max Miller. Max Miller finds a couple of defenders, but able to recycle that one. Goes in behind Pakofe. A little disjointed on that part of the attack from the Bulldogs, but they will reset. Have done. Stevens comes across. Robledo looking for a runner. Little tip forward there, right in the hands of one of the Thomas More attackers. Away goes Matasini. Matasini in a foot race. Matasini has another player, but he's going to keep it himself. And off an errant Bulldogs pass, the Thomas More Saints extend their lead. Going nearly the distance is Luca Matasini.
I'm sitting here putting together my words for the Adrian Bulldogs and how they're about to score and how they're going to be rewarded for their work in these set pieces with a man down, and then boom, Lucas Mattasini 90 meters the other way. Thomas More Saints. I think the Bulldogs got to slow down. Remember, they're a man down. They're going to be a little bit under-resourced and play a little bit less adventurously. They cannot afford as many mistakes. And this one, boy, did Thomasini make them pay very quickly the other direction. One slip of the pass, one knock forward, and that's all you got to do against the Saints to get punished.
Mattasini, the sophomore from Hans Christian Andersen High School in Buenos Aires, playing in Crestview Hills for John Fox with this Saints team. Kick to come here, 15-3, 13 minutes into the second half here of this Big Rivers matchup for National Collegiate Rugby Friday Fall Series.
I'd really love to crawl inside the collective heads of this Adrian Bulldogs team right now. Knocking on the door 3 straight times. I mean, in the last 10 minutes, the Bulldogs have been inside the red zone with possession, looking like they are about to score 3 times. And instead of picking up points, they have now just leaked another 5, potentially 7, if O'Gorman can slot this touchline kick. Is that going to deflate the Bulldogs? How do they come back out of this? How do they run back to this midfield? What does their body language look like on this next kickoff? I think that's going to tell us a lot about how the rest of this game is going to play out.
O'Gorman pushes that one across, so it's going to stay 15-3. 25 minutes plus left in this contest. As you said, Pat, 1 player down for the Bulldogs.
I mean, I was just talking about the negative side of where they could be in their head. The positive side is they've made this many mistakes. They're playing a man down, and they're still knocking on the door consistently, and they're only down 2 scores. They're only down 2 scores at this point, 2 possessions. Still well within this game, the Bulldogs.
Referee Whitmer counting out the players here. Bulldogs through Vatuve are going to get us started again. High one up. Little show there from the Saints. Well taken. Veal steps into the distributor position. A little show of the ball there from Casares, but he's going to hang on to it. All across. A little pop back in. There's a replacement scrum half. Into the game, that is Mohali Sekwa, wearing number 20. Sekwa, a freshman from Johannesburg, South Africa, to the Yepe School.
Both of these teams very deep benches. Just starting to dip into them as it leaks on late in this game. Be interested to see how that could play into it.
Bulldogs, steady scrum. Ball back into the hands of Welt. Welt makes a couple of yards. Saints players going to have to roll away, digging over. They're going to be a penalty advantage here. Too much of the ruck there, too much aggression from the Saints coming off their feet. Opportunity for the Bulldogs.
Jared Welt always leaves one on the tackler when he takes it into contact, absolutely blasting and bumping his way through the Thomas More defense. And that's what that can do. If you get a big bump like that, you make a big athletic play, it can often just make that other team panic just that little bit much, have too much of a sense of urgency, get over-aggressive, and get penalized in the breakdown. That's what we just saw from the Saints. And now this is the 4th time in about a 10-15 minute span for the Bulldogs. Will the 4th time be the try? Can they punch this one in?
Very important question, Pat. Big moment here for the Bulldogs. They don't want this lead to get any bigger. Need some points on the board, a man down. A little confidence going into the final quarter would do them well as the Bulldogs get set in their 5-man setup. We're going to go to Andy Arena. He's been steady and solid in the middle all night. Looking for the maul. Good work by Thomas More, but we have a penalty against the Saints. Pardon me, we had a knock on there from the Bulldogs. It's going to be a scrum here for the Saints.
That is textbook maul defense from Thomas More, top to bottom. Casares leading the first strike through. They missed the ball. They penetrated, but had to get back on side. Two other guys on Thomas More found the ball, stuck to it. And when you bring the ball into a maul, you have to take it out. The Bulldogs didn't, so Thomas More rewarded with possession.
Gonna reset this one. Mahale Sekwa in the game, wearing 20 as we said. You hear the Saints fans in unison there, singing away, Pat.
I love it. It's a very fun atmosphere, something you want to hear more in college rugby. It reminds me of schoolboy, a little bit of schoolboy rugby down in South Africa. You're used to seeing the classmates singing and chanting on the sidelines. We get that going across all the campuses in the Big Rivers. We'll really have something going.
Ball in there from Sekwa. Casares has the ball at his feet. Long pass back to Karamuti, who launches one downfield. Bulldogs on the move. Doesn't find touch. Little show. Bounce pass across to McGregor Adams. Turning into a bit of a soccer match for a second here, but ball back up into the hands of Zubiri. Zubiri. Ball down. Sekwa right on the spot. A show from Karamuti. Karamuti flirting with the touchline. That one's bobbled. Josh Foy has to go back on it. The referee is going to come back here for an offsides penalty against the Bulldogs. Opportunity here for the Saints.
If you smell a cheeseburger enough while you're hungry and you don't get to eat it, you're going to start throwing things. And I think that's what we're seeing from the Bulldogs. 4 really close whiffs of that try line, rejected each time. That's frustrating, and I think that's what that last penalty was at the breakdown, just taking some frustrations out, unfortunately illegally, and that gives the Saints a little bit more purchase. And if they get another try here, you really start to wonder about the Bulldogs' ability to bounce back.
Replacement coming in, Fa'avale, Matagi Fa'avale, loosehead prop, exits the field for the Bulldogs. He replaced lineouts, McEwen, pot heater. Calls come in, ball's gonna go to Casares, gonna be ripped away by the Bulldogs. Big hit comes in on Jack Stevens. Able to take away that line out are the Bulldog, pardon me, but stuck in their own end, and they're going to launch this one downfield into the safety of touch, be another Thomas More line out.
Adrian just needs to be patient, get back into the flow of it. With some of the talent they have, whether it's McGregor Adams or Quinn Murray or Patello Vatuve or Sione Mamata, they have a bunch of home run hitters on this pitch. All they need is the ball. Patient defense. The impatience is what's costing them pretty mightily at this point. So just get patient. There's plenty of time on the board. You're only down 2 scores.
Well, this time to Casares, little bobble, but they're going to keep possession. Great hands from Karamuti to keep it alive. And get back to his feet and break through there. If we go through Sekwa, Sekwa has to hang on himself, but it slipped off his hand. Be a scrum here to the Bulldogs. Opportunity for one of those danger runners you were talking about, Pat, to make a break.
It's like a center scrum. This is one of the more dangerous set pieces for the defense. They're split. Their back line has only 3 on one side, generally speaking, usually 2 on the other. They have no idea which way the attack's going to go. So they have to react instead of act. So this is actually a really, even though it's deep in their end, it's a really strong attacking platform for Adrian.
Referee Whitmer going to reset this one.
Thomas More needs to remember they're a man up on these scrums. When they knew that coming out of the half, they were really dominant, but it's dissipated since.
Manahave had the ball at his feet, but good work by Sekwa. All over Stevens on that one. Long kick coming. Fielded in the center. Return kick coming from the Saints. That one bobbled, kicked forward by one of the St. Thomas More players. Picked up on the ground into the try zone. Is it going to be a good try? Referee is going to confer with the assistant referee. We'll get the number on the player. And it looks like that one was good as a try comes for Chepo Masalane.
There he is, the 5'10", 180-pound winger out of Johannesburg, South Africa. Played his high school ball at Bryanston High School. Just the right man at the right time here. Chip through, he's got the speed. Plays a little soccer dribble ahead. The hardest part is scooping it up, and then dotting it down was the easy part. For Stepo, the freshman, making a big play on Friday Night Rugby here tonight. That might be the backbreaker for Thomas More. The Bulldogs got to respond, and they got to do it soon to make this one a game again.
Certainly could be, as you get a look at that tremendous hairstyle on Tomas Casares. Has a little flair about him when he plays, certainly. So we wait for the kick from Raphael O'Gorman.
Real Sergio Garcia vibes when O'Gorman lines up to the tee.
Puts a high kick up, and that one is good as they move to 22-3. Lead pushing out here, a mountain to climb for these Adrian Bulldogs.
Got to remind folks, Adrian was absolutely, this is a 3-3 game, 39 minutes in. Completely tied. Thomas More having trouble finding any purchase, making any real line breaks. Adrian picks up the red card for foul play to the number 8 early on to Takao, or late in the second half. And from that moment, that's where Thomas More has made all the separation.
And for things to go from bad to worse, Vatuve with an uncharacteristic error there doesn't make 10 on the restart. We're going to come back. It looks like Thomas More has opted for the scrum right at midfield.
I love it. It's a good decision. Even though Thomas More isn't quite marching back this Adrian pack, putting them on skates the way that you'd like to see when it's 8v7, they are definitely sapping their energy. Every one of these pack downs is taking something out of Pakofe, is taking something out of every single one of those Bulldogs in the pack. It's a good move to take this scrum.
Sekwa moves this one away. They opt for the boot downfield, going to play some territory as this game rolls on. Quinn Murray has to go back on that in the try zone, so he's going to touch it down. Should come back out for a 22 drop. And Nicolas Andriana wants to keep playing in the arena. Certainly excited, but I was wrong. Still learning these new rules sometimes. This one is going to be a goal line dropout.
Thomas More handled the first one of these pretty well.
Big run from Casares. He found the right line, launches one out over the top, looking for Mateo Haue Casina. It looked like that one went forward. Yet another pass, not going the direction they would hope. Casares looks like he cramped up a bit there.
Karamoudi taking the high ball, and that's a great strategy on one of these 5-meter dropouts. Just stick Casares, your hardest charger, back, and whoever catches it, you run off his shoulder, Tomas, and go for it. And that's what he did there, just an errant pass, probably a little too loose with the ball.
Both teams have been, occasionally just trying to make that one last pass, and if it came away, to be magical. If it doesn't come away, you have to answer to your coach during a film session. Certainly right there is an example of that as the ball comes back to Manahave's feet. Adrian drives this one downfield. Ball knocked back, but kept in by the Saints. Pushing it back on that is Matasini. Made a big run just earlier, going backwards at the moment. With Mamata keeping an eye on him. Ball here for the Bulldogs. Nice little ball up there to Batuve. Batuve takes it into contact. Looking to go wide with this one. Get the ball into Pakofe's hands. Pakofe to the ground safely. Stevens looks again. Gets it into the waiting hands of Ethan Schrader. Nice little line there, wide open for Stevens. He's going to take it. Pakofe. A little intent and will from this Adrian Bulldogs team here. Very excited to get some points on the board if they can. Ball out to Welt. We wind up in touch. Referee blows his whistle. And we have a try from Welt. Couldn't see the off-colored try zone over there. Good points, 5 on the board for Adrian.
Pakofe, very impressed with his work rate. I saw him play last January. He shed some pounds. He's got fit. He's carrying the ball time after time. And then Welt with another huge carry. He says, Steppo, if you're going to go around people, I'm going to go through you. And that's exactly what he does to put the Bulldogs back on the board. Make it a 2-score game potentially after this kick. And Adrian might be right back in this thing.
Was looking at the monitor for that one. Didn't give the appropriate excitement for Welt scoring that try. As it changes color out there, we have a player on the Saints getting attended to. Kick to come. Adrian Bulldogs never say die, of course.
Kofe was playing at the National Collegiate Rugby All-Star Tournament last January down in Houston, Texas at Aviva Stadium, the home of the Houston SaberCats in Major League Rugby. Turned a lot of heads for the Thunderbirds down there, but was probably a little bit overweight, wasn't able to get through the work that he needed to. He's come back slimmer, he's come back fitter. Kudos to Benny Mattieloni and maybe assistant coach Lerome White, who's probably struggled as a big professional prop himself with some of those weight issues. It's nice to see Pakofe here and churn it out. Fantastic improvement from him this season.
Absolutely continues to go strength to strength. Great kick there from Adrian. The Bulldogs have cut the lead to 12. 8 minutes to go on the game clock. Referee will have some time. What a kick from a tough angle for the Bulldogs. Waiting for a ball
Sione
here.
Mamata. We talked about those strike runners, those big-time playmakers there for Adrian. It was Sione Mamata chasing down on defense on a long kick, turning defense into offense, making that last try kind of happen. Let's see who steps up next for Adrian.
They will need to do so quick. They're down 12 points. Would need 2 converted tries as that one rolls into touch. Be a line out here for the Bulldogs inside their own 22. Long way to go, but as you said, Pat, we certainly have the runners on this Bulldog team to make a game of this. Miller calling for the ball.
The Saints might have let the foot off the gas a little bit after that last try. You got to tighten this up.
Quick one off the top. Quickly into the hands of Manahave. Done a lot of work, has the freshman. Stevens goes back. They're going to go to the boot. Try to play territory here. Clock against them. They're going to want to be careful about that. Well fielded by the Saints. Saints get the ball into the hands of Francisco Uscuna. Replacement back for Thomas More. Thomas More able to come up with this. Get the ball to Casares in the first receiver position. He hands off one. Taken down eventually. Sekwa back into the distributor role. A little show there from Karamuti. It's ripped out of his hand, but referee's going to come back for a couple of knock-ons. First one against Thomas More. Going to be a scrum down here for the Bulldogs.
Big opportunity here for Adrian. This is one you got to connect on. You got a little over 6 minutes to play. You get a score here. There's plenty of time to just play your rugby and go through your phases. If you do not get a score here, you're probably going to have to turn it up and start playing a little bit more desperately. Mamata now lined up at first receiver.
Replacement at number 8 there for the Bulldogs. That's Kohler wearing number 19. Big pressure coming from Thomas More. That one nearly taken away, but pops up into Mamata's hands. Get it to Welt. Welt has scored 1, shows, gets through. Gonna have to find some runners. Have done. Pakofe adds his considerable size to proceedings. Running in the middle of the field is Vatuve. Gonna have to get this one to ground, and he does. Good work to hold until his support was there. Stevens to Mamata. That one comes down to Casares. Not what they wanted to have happen. Nice little work out there. Into the hands of Zubiri. He gets it back, and a break comes here. Looks like O'Gorman. He's kicked a few today, but Rafael O'Gorman, little offload there from Zubiri into the try zone. Good work there for Thomas More.
And great work from O'Gorman. That entire possession came from his defense. He's the one who stood up Vatuve in the tackle. Not an easy task, especially for a slight guy like O'Gorman. Stood him up in the tackle, got the positive grade, piece of contact. We're able to turn it over right after that, and he was rewarded with the try himself. It's like getting a block against the glass on one end, chasing down the court, and getting a dunk on the other. Great job by O'Gorman.
Just a couple of minutes ago, Pat, I was talking about those passes just over the top, a little misdirected, but that one certainly found O'Gorman. O'Gorman found the try zone, and he'll be able to convert his own kick potentially.
It would take a monumental effort at this point for Adrian to claw back in it, but there's plenty to take away from this game for Coach Matty Alona, Coach White, the entire crew. You got to remember the Bulldogs only have 2 recruiting classes under their belt. St. Thomas More has 4 or 5 represented on this roster. Only their 2nd year of competition, Adrian. So impressed with how quickly they have risen through the ranks, especially now when there are so many varsity programs, so many high-performance daily training environments, enough to even form a conference out of them, like the Big Rivers that the Thomas More Saints are going to take a stranglehold on with this win.
O'Gorman launches that one high into the Kentucky Knights, and it finds its mark. It's good, 29-10, 19 points in it, 3 minutes on the game clock. Big Rivers Conference here at the home of Thomas More on National Collegiate Rugby as we take a look at that pass off to O'Gorman. O'Gorman from Zubiri with the assist. Touches down for 5, converts his own kick, but Tuve to get us going again. Well fielded. Thomas More driving their way. Pick and go coming from the back. We'll see if they're content with just working this clock down. Hudson Montgomery at the back. Ball's taken forward again. Full game for Montgomery. Full game for Potheater in there. Driving forward are the Saints. Gonna have to work the ball back. It spills off. Casares picks it up on the other side from the referee, so he couldn't see if there was any knock on there. Gonna let the teams keep playing. Ball at the back. Minute and a half in the game clock. Karamuti launches one downfield. Well fielded there by Welt. Move the ball across. Here comes Adrian. Adrian, nice step from one of their reserves backs. Working his way forward there is Tajay Miles. Now the ball into the hands of Andy Arena. He has been all over the place for this Bulldogs team. Great showing. Penalty advantage here as the ball comes back into the hands of Quinn Murray. We're going to go back for an offsides penalty against the Saints. 79 minutes on the clock, minutes ago on the game clock. We may have some referees time And Quinn Murray wants to get things going quickly here, Pat, as they would like to line out and another opportunity to put the ball in the try zone.
I love it, man. If you're Adrian, why not? Get some more film, get some more experience against these guys. You could see them again later. This is number 4 against number 8 in the country. This could easily be a playoff preview. There's at-large bids up for grabs. Whoever doesn't win this one doesn't win the Big Rivers. We could see him in the postseason. We could see a rematch.
Ball down to Stevens to Mamata. They're in the midfield. Good tackle comes in there on Josh Gatewood. Stevens back across. Still alive. Max Miller right at midfield. Finds the ground. Pakofe takes a couple to get him down. Ball went back. According to the referee, we're going to keep playing here. Patuve looking wide. Gets the ball to Miles. Miles hands off one. Eventually tackled. Certainly a handful is reserved. Stevens moves it across. Good defense late in the game here as we are over the 80-minute mark on the game clock. We're in referee's time. Big break there. Break by Quinn Murray. Quinn Murray works his way around. He's inside the 20. He's in a foot race. Quinn Murray looking for it. Ankle tap, gets there, but he gets his hand over, touches it down. Referee awards the try. 5 points to Quinn Murray at the death.
Impressive run by Quinn Murray. Impressive perseverance. Chasing that score, chasing the highlight, the try, all the way down. That's Friday Night Rugby for you. Action till the final second. Quinn Murray delivering it. If you're the Bulldogs, that's something you can look at on film. That's something you can take into the next game. You can take into the next week. I love the fact that they're playing to the final second.
They certainly came here to play, and they want to run from everywhere. Looks like he took a little shot there. Trying to put that ball down, gave it everything he had. As we see a kick being lined up here. Kick is up. And it is good. It is 17 points. We seem to have some more time to go in this game. Players are working their way back towards midfield.
Now we could be talking bonus point. We got another kickoff. The Bulldogs could potentially be going after the 4th try. Always coveted in a rugby game.
Just waiting for a ball. A referee Whitmer. Gets a ball out on the field, and we are ready to go in the end of this Big Rivers Conference matchup. National Collegiate Rugby bringing you this great action on Friday nights. Messy ball. That one gets knocked forward. Referee looks at his watch, and that's it for the end of our matchup. Thomas More, the Saints, 19. Adrian, the Bulldogs, 17. What a contest. What a running display of rugby from both sides. Final thoughts, Pat Clifton.
Fantastic matchup, fantastic showcase of college talent. College rugby is on its way up. The Big Rivers Conference is on its way up. Congratulations to the Thomas More Saints, who take the pole position in this conference race with 2 games left to go.
Great work by the Saints. Adrian, a building program, fantastic rugby, National Collegiate Rugby, proud to bring you this. Thank you from everyone at National Collegiate Rugby and from our crew. Mike Baker, Ryan, the man of the rugby plan, Ginty. For Pat Clifton, I'm John Broker. We will see you at the next rugby game.